Well, hi, welcome to this very quick tutorial on how to use the ZoneSplitter script. The first step is to install this script into your computer. So if you have a Windows computer, you will go into your C drive, your program files folder, and Adobe. Here you will find the Adobe Photoshop folder. If you have a Mac, I believe you can go into your applications folder and you will find Adobe Photoshop right there. Let's go inside and then go into the presets folder. Once here, scroll all the way down into your scripts. Here we just drag and drop. You might get a warning asking you if it's okay to copy a file into assistance folder, but we can continue. Done. This is all we need to install the script. Now we can go and open an image in Photoshop so I can show you how the script actually works. We're going to use a photograph of a very interesting person that I found on my trips to Kathmandu. It's going to be a fine example to work with. Here we are. Let's go to File, Scripts, and ZoneSplitter. The best way to show you what this does is to do a run with the default options. This means automatic splitting of the full spectrum of your image. When I press on Create Splits, Photoshop is going to analyze the information in your image and subdivide your photograph into a number of sections. This is what Ansel Adams refers as the zone system. Now, Ansel Adams' system has 11 zones going all the way from zone 0 to zone 10. But zone 0 is pure black and zone 10 is pure white. So in this case, we have zones 1 to 9 to play with. Now, if you click on each one of these layers, you'll see that it is a curve adjustments layer and that each one has an histogram that is going progressively upwards, showing you the information on each one of the zones. This is very useful because now I can go to zone 1, for example, and modify only the information in that zone and the rest remains unaffected. This allows you to do very localized adjustments that are non-destructive because you can go back and modify in any way that you see fit, and then you can, as is Photoshop, modify each layer with whatever information you need. You can change the opacity, you could add an intermediate layer and add a texture if you will, or whatever it is that you need. I can go into the highlights and bring them down a tiny bit, maybe recuperate some information from the beard of this man, and so on and so forth. There's no end to the amount of adjustments that I can do to my photograph to maybe improve it a little bit. So that is the first thing that you can do with the ZoneSplitter. You have a finer degree of control if you go to the custom options, because here you can tell it exactly the number of layers that you want to create. For example, let's say that I want to split my image into 4 layers. And I could tell it to use the full spectrum, as we saw before. Full spectrum means that it's going to split all the way from blacks to whites. Or I could modify just the shadows, or just the midtones, or just the highlights. In any case, let's work with the shadows and split a layer called background, which is this one over here. You can rename the folder where the splits are placed, and because I'm a very creative person, I'm going to call this shadows. Now, the type of adjustment can be levels or curves, but curves are very useful for me, so I'm going to pick this option. Finally, there's a couple of sliders here. The blurriness controls how blurry each mask is going to be, which in turn allows you to create a softer variation between them. And the fuzziness allows you to bleed one zone into another for better interaction. I would recommend you to play with the numbers of both sliders and then find something that works for you. In this case, let's go. Now, as you can see, I have a shadows folder with 4 splits, and these splits only go around the shadows portion of my image. Now I can fine tune this. Well, this is a little bit extreme, hehe. and work towards the vision that I have for this picture that I'm working with. There we go. I like that. Now something that I find useful is to add a mask on this particular folder and then fine-tune what I'm doing with a brush. So maybe I can add some more detail here. Maybe here as well. And then I can control the opacity of the whole thing. Also note that because you have these masks, you could reuse them for anything else that you want to do with this image. If you just want to affect a section of it, you can blend some textures in, and because you're working with Photoshop, well, the sky's the limit. So there you have it. I hope that this tutorial was useful for you, and I really hope that my script will allow you to increase the speed at which you process your photographs, and that this becomes a nice addition to your workflow. Thank you very much for listening, and see you the next time.